João has always been a cheerful and energetic boy. Since he was little, he loved running around the backyard with a ball at his feet, dreaming of one day playing in the biggest stadiums in the world. His parents, Ana and Carlos, were moved to Tuatu and see the sparkle in their son's eyes whenever he watched a soccer match on TV. He would imitate the moves of his idols, and among all the stars, he had one absolute favorite, Cristiano Ronaldo. However, about a year ago, the family's routine changed drastically. João began to feel excessive fatigue, frequent pain, and difficulty performing activities that used to come easily to him. Worried, his parents took him to the doctor, and after a series of tests came the devastating diagnosis, a rare disease that affected his muscles and compromised his mobility. Treatment was possible, but extremely expensive, and with each passing day, João needed more care. Ana and Carlos did everything they could to raise money for consultations, medications, and physical therapy sessions. They sold belongings, relied on the help of friends and family, organized raffles, and online fundraisers. But no matter how hard they tried, the medical costs only increased, and the amount raised was never enough. Desperation grew, and they knew they needed to find a solution quickly. It was then, while watching João hugging his Cristiano Ronaldo jersey, that Ana had a bold idea. What if they could get a pair of boots autographed by his idol and auction them off to raise money for the treatment? It was a difficult plan, but their love for their son and the hope of seeing him healthy again motivated them to try anything. So with hearts full of faith, the family decided to take the first step, to make a plea to the world through social media. Little did they know that this message would touch thousands of people, and soon reach Cristiano Ronaldo himself. From a very young age, João had shown an uncontrollable passion for soccer. Even before learning to tie his shoes, he was already kicking anything he could find around the house, from paper balls to bottle caps. His favorite pastime was watching games with his father, cheering at every spectacular play. But there was one player who made his eyes shine like no other, Cristiano Ronaldo. João was captivated not only by the Portuguese star's skill, but also by his story of overcoming adversity. Whenever he heard about Cristiano's humble childhood, the challenges he faced, and his relentless dedication to becoming one of the greatest in the world, João felt even more admiration. He dreamed of following in the same footsteps, training in the backyard and trying to mimic his idol's moves and celebrations. Even after his diagnosis, when his body began to show signs of weakness, his passion for soccer remained unshakable. On days when the pain was more intense and the treatments more exhausting, João found comfort in watching Cristiano Ronaldo's videos. Whenever he saw his idol score a goal and run to celebrate, raising his arms and shouting "Siu," he felt a renewed strength to keep fighting. His room was filled with posters of the player and his favorite jersey, already a bit worn from so much use, was the number 7 of the Portuguese star. For Ana and Carlos, it was heartbreaking to see their son facing so many difficulties, but at the same time, it was moving to see how he clung to soccer as a refuge. It was this strong connection to Cristiano Ronaldo that made Ana think of a special request. If the idol meant so much to João, perhaps he could be the key to helping him in some way. With this idea in mind, the parents decided to act. It was time to take João's story to the world and make an emotional plea, to ask Cristiano Ronaldo for an autographed pair of boots to auction off and raise funds for the treatment. Without imagining how far this initiative would go, Ana and Carlos took the first step and launched the campaign on social media. The days passed, and Ana and Carlos's concern only grew. Medical appointments became more frequent, medications more expensive, and the treatment, essential to slowing the progression of João's illness, seemed increasingly out of the family's financial reach. They had already tried everything: raffles, online fundraisers, charity bazaars. Friends and relatives helped as much as they could, but the reality was cruel. The money raised was never enough. One quiet night, after another difficult day, Ana watched João sleeping, hugging his Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. The boy, even weakened, never stopped smiling when talking about soccer. It was then that a bold idea came to her mind. What if they could get something valuable to auction? something that could attract the attention of fans and collectors willing to pay a good price. Ana sat down with Carlos and shared her thought. What if we asked for a pair of boots autographed by Cristiano Ronaldo? If we could get them, we could auction them off and use the money for João's treatment. At first, Carlos hesitated. The idea seemed like a distant dream. How would they get in touch with one of the biggest soccer stars in the world? Would he even pay attention to the plea of an unknown family? But when he looked at his son, he realized they had nothing to lose. It was worth a try. The next day, Ana began planning the campaign. She created a social media post telling João's story, explaining his battle with the illness and his unconditional passion for soccer and Cristiano Ronaldo. The request was clear and emotional. If they could get an autographed pair of boots from the star, they could auction them off and raise the necessary funds for the treatment. With hearts full of hope, Ana and Carlos shared the message. Friends and family helped spread the campaign, and within hours, the post had hundreds of shares. But the family had no idea that this simple message would soon take on a life of its own, reaching not only anonymous fans, but also influencers and personalities from the soccer world. The hope was now cast into the internet, and all that remained was to see how far this wave of solidarity would go. Ana and Carlos had never imagined that a simple post could reach so many people so quickly. Within hours, the campaign they created for João had been shared by hundreds of internet users. Friends, family, and even strangers were moved by the boy's story and began tirelessly spreading the plea. The message was clear and direct: to get a pair of boots autographed by Cristiano Ronaldo, to auction off and raise funds for the treatment. With every update, more people got involved. The number of likes and shares grew non-stop, and the comments were filled with messages of support and prayers. "Stay strong, João. We can do this. Someone needs to get this to Cristiano Ronaldo," the internet users said. People tagged journalists, influencers, and even sports pages in the hope that the story would gain even more traction. The family, deeply moved, followed everything with anxiety and hope. João, even without fully understanding the magnitude of what was happening, smiled when he saw so many people rooting for him. "Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo will see this, Mom?" he asked with a sparkle in his eyes. Ana held his hand and replied tenderly, "Let's believe, my love. The world is full of good people." And indeed, influential people began to notice the campaign. Small sports news profiles posted about João. Then renowned journalists started talking about the story. Local TV stations contacted Ana and Carlos to interview the family. João's story began to gain unexpected reach, crossing borders, until, finally, the campaign reached big names in sports. Soccer players, commentators, and celebrities began sharing the post, tagging Cristiano Ronaldo and his management team. The movement became impossible to ignore. The question was no longer whether the message would reach João's idol, but when. And on the other side of the world, Cristiano Ronaldo finally became aware of the story, and his response was about to move everyone. João's story continued to spread like wildfire. The engagement on social media was astonishing, and with every hour more people shared the campaign in the hope that Cristiano Ronaldo would see the plea. Sports journalists began mentioning the story on TV programs, and soccer influencers used their platforms to further boost the cause. Then something incredible happened. A former Portuguese national team player, who had played alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, shared the post and directly tagged the soccer star. "Cristiano, this family needs you. Let's help little João," he wrote. The comment gained thousands of likes and attracted even more attention. With each new interaction, Ana and Carlos's hope grew. João, even in his weakened state, followed. Everything with excitement. He began asking every day if they had received a response from his idol. His eyes sparkled at the possibility that Cristiano Ronaldo knew who he was. "Do you think he'll read it, Dad?" he asked, clutching his number. 7 jersey. Carlos smiled and replied, "I believe he will, my champion." The decisive moment came during a live broadcast of an international sports program. One of the commentators, while discussing acts of solidarity by great players, directly mentioned João's story. "Soccer has the power to change lives, and this is one of those stories that deserves a happy ending. Cristiano, if you're watching, This boy is your #1 fan. He needs help." By this point, João's name had already reached Cristiano Ronaldo's management team. The messages, shares, and incessant mentions ensured that the player himself became aware of the story. And then, the next morning, Ana and Carlos received a notification that left them in shock. An official email from Cristiano Ronaldo's team, informing them that the star had seen the campaign and had a response for the family. Ana's heart raced as she read the words in the email. They were not only about to receive the autographed boots, but Cristiano Ronaldo had something even bigger planned. When Ana opened the email and read the first words, her hands trembled. She looked at Carlos, who noticed the emotion on his wife's face and quickly approached. "What is it? Is it him?" he asked, his voice choked. Unable to hold back her tears, Ana simply nodded and began reading aloud. The message was direct but filled with empathy. Cristiano Ronaldo's team informed them that the player had learned about João's story and was deeply moved by his struggle. The email confirmed that an autographed pair of boots would be sent to the family so they could auction them off and raise funds for the treatment. But the most emotional part was yet to come. "In addition," Ana continued, her voice trembling with emotion, "Cristiano Ronaldo wishes to personally contribute with a donation to help with João's treatment." Carlos had to sit down. Both parents' hearts were racing, and tears streamed down Ana's face. They had dreamed of the possibility of getting the boots for the auction, but they had never imagined that Cristiano Ronaldo himself would make a donation to directly help their son's treatment. The news was received with immense emotion. When they told João, the boy fell silent for a moment, processing everything. His eyes filled with tears before breaking into a huge smile. "He knows who I am?" he asked, almost in disbelief. "Yes, my love, and he wants to help you," Ana replied, hugging her son tightly. Social media exploded with the news. Cristiano Ronaldo's gesture was widely publicized, and fans from all over the world praised the star for his generosity. But the journey wasn't over yet. Now, with the autographed boots on their way and a significant donation securing part of the treatment, the family needed to organize the auction, ensuring that every penny raised would be used to give João the best chance of recovery. And so, with renewed hope and hearts full of gratitude, Ana and Carlos began the next stage of this emotional battle, turning Cristiano Ronaldo's gift into the opportunity to save their son's life. The following days were filled with pure emotion for Ana, Carlos, and João. The news of Cristiano Ronaldo's response took on massive proportions. Newspapers, TV programs, and sports portals around the world shared the Portuguese star's gesture. Fans of different clubs, regardless of on-field rivalries, came together in support of João. It was a wave of solidarity that grew with each passing day. The autographed boots arrived in a special box, carefully packaged and accompanied by a message of encouragement, signed by Cristiano Ronaldo himself. "To João, with strength and determination, never give up on your dreams. CR7, the note read. When João opened the box and saw his idol's signature, he was speechless. He touched the boots as if they were a true treasure, and with an emotional smile said, "This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me." With the item in hand, the family began organizing the auction. With the help of volunteers and a specialized platform, they ensured everything was done securely and transparently. Business people, collectors, and soccer fans began placing increasingly higher bids. The initial amount, already significant, was quickly surpassed. Within days, the final bid reached a sum far greater than the family could have imagined. The amount raised, combined with Cristiano Ronaldo's donation, was enough to cover a large part of João's treatment. With the funds secured, Ana and Carlos scheduled the first necessary medical steps. João, who had once seen the future as uncertain, now had a new perspective, the real hope of improving his condition and continuing to fight for his dream. But one more surprise awaited the family. Amid all the emotions, a new and unexpected chapter of this story was about to unfold, something João could never have imagined. The following days were marked by a mix of relief, gratitude, and anticipation for what was to come. With the money raised from the auction and Cristiano Ronaldo's generous donation, João was finally able to begin his treatment with everything he needed: medications, specialized physical therapy, and constant medical care. Though the road ahead was still long, the family now had something that had long seemed out of reach: hope. João's improvement was gradual but noticeable. Over time, he began to regain some of his mobility and returned to performing small activities. That had once been impossible. His eyes sparkled again, and each day he showed more determination to fight. But deep down, one dream still lived in his heart: to meet Cristiano Ronaldo in person. And then, when the family least expected it, the biggest surprise of all arrived. One afternoon, Anna received an unexpected call from a representative of the players' team. On the other end of the line, a friendly voice said, "Cristiano Ronaldo wants to meet João." Anna was speechless. Emotion overwhelmed her, and when she shared the news with Carlos and João, the boy began to cry with happiness. "He really wants to meet me?" he asked, his eyes wide. A few weeks later, João and his family embarked on an unforgettable journey. When they arrived at the stadium where Cristiano Ronaldo was training, João's heart raced. He wore his number 7 jersey, holding it like a lucky charm. When he finally saw his idol walking toward him, he couldn't contain his emotions. Cristiano Ronaldo flashed a warm smile and crouched down to João's level. "João, how are you, champion?" the star asked, hugging the boy. João could barely speak. He simply smiled and held the player's hand tightly. During their meeting, Cristiano talked with him, listened to his story, and even played with a ball, encouraging him to keep fighting. Before they said goodbye, the star looked into João's eyes and said, "Never give up on your dreams. You've already proven you're a warrior. And when you're ready to play again, I want to see you shining on the field." The boy returned home with his heart overflowing with happiness. He had not only received help for his treatment, but had also lived the most special moment of his life. And now, more than ever, he was determined to keep fighting. The illness might have been a challenge, but João had learned that with faith, hope, and the solidarity of the right people, even the biggest dreams could come true. And who knows? One day he might step onto a great stadium again, but this time as a professional player. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave your like so more people can discover stories that change lives.